We're doing it. Okay, good. Yeah, it's 17 minutes left. So, and I've heard children, it's like, oh, fair enough. I can tell in people's voices when they don't have enough consideration for other people, which if it makes it, they've lowered their inhibitions, they're in an overly excited state, or their brains are sustaining fidelities of the suspension of disbelief, that have precluded the interests of the well-being of people who remain remarkably well possessed of their right mind, given the more popular demands upon it made by the economic god of the world. So if you're a smart person, a wise person, you see a lot of human disease. Like, that woman's not a bad person. I mean, just walked by me. She's easily 150 pounds overweight. She is blown up, man. She's big. If you were to see her naked, you would she's got this little head on this giant body. How do you even be a woman anymore? And you sit down at the toilet and you're thinking, what is all this fat on my body? But it collects like that. Because the body doesn't really speak the language of the world. How could someone say that humans are not born with great judgment? Else, how would you suffer the enemies of their judgment, the most unnecessary demands upon it? The core of human health is the core of human judgment, right? And that is access to the human voice, or it's abscessed through the sublimation of the human voice, right? So if people just could talk, and there was a way for them to feel like somebody was listening to them, you could create the ultimate therapy in the world. Especially, nature listens to you. But people's bodies show evidence that the fundamental judgment has been trespassed upon, in every sense of that word. Their sun has been covered over. The only thing that can be wrong with someone's heart or mind, if you want to look at it that way, is that their voice has been denied. And it's amazing how many, say, female spiritualists and healers think that the only way you can become better is if they talk over your voice and try to think that they know better than your own innate judgment. So if someone came to me and said, look, I got 200 pounds extra weight, I would say, you fundamentally have good judgment. Your body's judgment has been offended, right? The world has spoken against your natural judgment. You're ultimately of sound judgment in your nature, but you haven't allowed to give voice to your full nature. It hasn't been allowed to breathe, and so it's been strangled all of its life. You're going to have to release that voice, and as you do, you're going to release excrement. Your body's going to start talking. It's going to start farting. You're going to start puking. Things are going to start coming out of you. Sounds, feelings, things, crap. If you walk around, you're going to smell like death to the animals. Death is going to come out of you, right? The only thing that can be really wrong with a human being is that something or someone has talked over you, right? To walk over your grave, they have to talk over your voice, right? The only grave there is the grave of the human voice. No spirit is in a grave, right? No, any more than these logs that lay down are in a grave. What is grave is the robbery of the human voice, which is the beginning and end of all crime and all sexual violence in the world. And without the sublimation of the human voice, there'd be no cults. And without the cult capacity of all groups, there'd be no violence. No need to talk over other people to keep the magical beliefs fed like cannibals in the stead of your genuine needs as a human. People that need to talk over you are not healed people, especially if they're trying to say that they're good listeners. Demonically possessed women, they don't hear the word no. Right? You can tell, they'll make jokes when they're talking about strange sort of people. with big egos who just, say no to them. What spiritually unenlightened people they are. Most spiritual women are sexual predators, and nothing and no one can ever say no to them. Right? They're gluttonous for human flesh and human voice. Right? So this sexual predator sat down, the spiritualist, and said, speaking all this crap to me, which she didn't even understand clearly herself, even what she was talking about, who she was talking to. And there's usually just a little bit of truth in it, even though they don't know what it is. They think the truth is something that's wrong with you. Like female therapists, they think the truth is something that's wrong with you because they're all fucked up schizophrenics, right? And it was clear that she wasn't interested in anything I had to say for myself. Isn't that weird? Right? I wanted to talk over everything and couldn't speak body language, even when I tried to show her what my body language was telling her. And when I told her even more about my body language and how my heart was suffering listening to her, right? She's pretending like, oh, she knows all about that. It had nothing to do with her. It meant that you needed her even more. So the more my body showed signs that she was being predatory to me, the more she dug in her heels that she was of innate value to me, and that I should allow her to do more of this. And at some point, my system would acquiesce and would be restored to something she believed I needed to be restored to. I was basically just fighting her off the whole time. She's a predator. Right? They're hungry. They do it on the pretext of being healers, but they're really just hungry for your flesh. Right? They don't have to rape you to get what they want from you. Especially women. That's why you find a lot of women in healing industries, because they can use their voice to consume people. They don't get any value out of it or satisfaction, but they'll keep doing it because at some point they probably did get something out of it. Maybe the first time they did it. Right now they're trying to get that. Right? That's why they'll often offer their services to me for free, because they just want to get something off of me. So you have to give them a pound of your flesh just to interact with them. They demand that. It's the cost of interacting. Right? And they want to do it in public too, because what they do, right, they're happy to do in front of witnesses. They're happy to do in public because they're protected. It's the ultimate passive aggression. The whole way of being is to be able to hurt people in public in a way that they never have to suffer any accountability for. They know how to attack people in public. They know how to do that. They'll do it under any provocation, and they always think they're righteous. And at the end of this attack on me, she says to me, oh, you're going to talk to the world one day. So now she's trying to put my voice up onto a... Oh, really? And of course I already am talking to the world. I'm making a YouTube video and it's recording all of this, right? And so all of a sudden, after all this talking over my voice and ignoring me and preying upon me sexually the entire time, now, I managed to convey to her the notion that she may be sexually preying upon me, and she laughs at this with evident glee, right? And I'll say something to her, and she'll actually say the complete opposite of what I said. Right? They only hear the opposite of what you're saying, and everything they say should be turned around the opposite of what you're saying. If they say they want to help your heart, it means they want to eat your heart. They want to eat your heart out. And then she extols my voice as something like, it's going to talk to the world. It's so hyperbolic. It's so fucking ridiculous. Right? She's all over the place. Right? Everything is a lie. Her life is a lie. She's telling me her life is a lie. Her whole world is a lie. Her whole life is a lie. A sorrowful, pitiful lie. But she walks around like she has everything figured out. It's amazing. Right? Never walk around like that. Be scared, be vulnerable, be anxious, be intimidated by the world. Let me remember that. That's a healthy feeling. I feel it every day of my life. But I still manage to have an okay day. Right? Why wouldn't you feel threatened by human beings? It's amazing if it's wrong. Right? They get rid of that feeling and they lower their inhibitions. They raise their suspension of disbelief and they go away. Right? And your children keep living and dying with the same diseases, and you don't stop anything. You're not smart enough to even take into account the evidence that would be before you if you started looking at generations of your own family. Because you'll never see what you don't want to. and what goes against the world that's controlling you, despite all of your so-called liberty. You'll never advance any thought, even for your own sake, if it goes against what the world has told you how to think. So I'd rather be a poor, fucking non-existent YouTuber than anyone else, if you ask me. Yay! Okay, remember here. Let's keep going. John J. Rambo. Rambunctious. More like it. John J. Rambunctious. John Rambo in kindergarten. He's like, I'm gonna tie my shoes for me and the other guys. Do I get to save the other guys now? Come on, Colonel. It's actually a nice place. So total liar in every sense. A completely honest liar. Right? The honest liar is a type of liar. The honest liar is like the sincere actor. Because the more sincere an actor is, the better the act, right? If you're in a role in a play, you want to make it as sincere and real and honest as possible. But it's still a complete lie, isn't it? And that's what Predators are. They're a completely honest lie. Completely good actors. And if you look at the economic world and the nature of theater, human sacrifice, and the nature of the average economic day, right? Be afraid for how it's completely advantageous to sexual predators, right? Serial malignant people. They never encounter the opposite sex, but they take something from them. And if you interrupt what they're doing, they'll feel like you've taken something from them. I don't know that's true. The only person that was fired initially was an innocent single mother. It's amazing. So you see this ethics, there's no ethics, and people are stalking. In an economic sense, why would anyone be ethical? There's nothing ethical about the monetary industries. Okay, so on that road again. So a good example to finish off the 4 minutes I have on this card of an honest liar, a retired male school teacher. I literally was out here, and he comes out here. He walks over the wetlands, walks all the way out. I don't know, some kind of little scrubland over there, and decapitates various plants that he's decided shouldn't belong here. And he's walking along with the carcass of these innocent plant species. And I'm sitting over here, and he wanders, the only other white man in the area, who tells me, while he's handling these carcasses, that I don't belong here, I can't be here. He's telling me in a nice, honest, friendly teacher way. And because it hurts the grass I'm sitting on, okay? And I just go along and I chat with him for a moment. It's clear that he's insane. He's completely insane. He's a pathological liar. He's an honest liar, you see? And that's what white people are. They're honest liars, right? And that was about a year ago. And I come out here now when I feel like it, on the salt marsh, where they say the grass is offended by the footsteps of people. Under the fantasy, he tells me, that one day there's going to be too many people walking around here. Because so many people come out here. It's just crawling with people wanting to walk on actually some fairly cumbersome territory. It's kind of dangerous to walk on it. Look at this. Hey. We have 2 minutes. I'll free up some card space back. That's amazing. Let's go sit over here. This looks like a good spot. So it's just, you see what I mean? They say one thing, they do something else. They're hypocrites. They're psychotic. Look at, it's an old lighter. What does it say? Flick there for I am.